Too many ideas? Too many passions? Well, in this video, I'm going to talk about how to niche down. Do you have way too many ideas, passions, and really love working with way too many different types of people? Maybe you even started out with one niche and then switched it and kept on changing because it does not feel right for some reason. Well, if so, I am going to say stop. Right now, just stop it. I get it. I changed my major 6 times before I decided to go to med school, and even then I changed my career 3 times after med school. So if you're just starting out in your coaching business, you likely have heard a great deal about needing to niche down. The idea of needing to niche down can be quite daunting, especially if you're new in your business. In this video, I'm going to share with you my tips and a simple exercise that I created to help you ditch the niche, but instead just to get clear with who you are meant to work with without getting overwhelmed or lost in all the possibilities. But first, let's clarify, why do we even have to find a niche? The purpose of a niche is to just get clear on your message. It is to know who you're talking to, so that they can find you through what words or activities they are using or doing. So I would like to vote that let's just ditch the niche and focus on the who instead that we're wanting to target. A niche does not mean you cannot work with other people outside of that niche. And that's one of the biggest misconceptions. Likely other people will find you somehow or some way. And that's what we need to trust and let go of. Because really all a niche does, or just knowing exactly who you're talking to, is to help you be seen more, which means you get more clients. Unlike the misconception that many believe, which is that niching down will limit you, not at all. If you're trying to talk to everybody, you end up talking to nobody. Being too broad can limit you because many people are too broad, especially in the beginning. This is the reason why it may be hard for new holistic practitioners or coaches that struggle to get noticed or consistently get clients. I'm gonna be a bit hard on you right now because the fear of eliminating people as being your reason for going too broad is a scarcity mindset. And settling for anything and everything because they believe they are limiting their potential clients by talking to only one client will limit you. And this is not what is happening when you focus on one, what, or who. It's how you get noticed because you start talking directly to certain people as opposed to talking to a lot of people and then a lot missing it. Your message and who or what you're speaking to is critical in your business, but you need to know that who or what is not a permanent thing. Actually, it is 98.99999% likely you will change who or what, or even narrow down even more as you have more experience to figure out exactly who you want to work with or the verbiage that's needed to be used. So first, don't feel like it's some permanent thing that is etched in stone, as you can and sometimes should erase and change who or what you are targeting. But in any new business, you need to test in order for you to get feedback. So I will show you how to simply ditch the niche, but to find who is the right audience for you. So be sure to stick with me after this, because I can understand how you may be feeling and not wanting to start in a particular niche. That maybe you fear that you're not gonna like that particular niche as you continue, or that you're just not gonna stick with it for the long run. And you don't want to invest a lot of time in that particular niche. But what really happens is you get held back and it causes further delays in the process. So if you clicked on this video because the title says it, you are a multi-passionate person or have a lot of ideas and interests, which means I can predict that you will want to change your direction, as you will very naturally grow. That's just inevitable, as your clients will grow too, and you'll start to see who you are even better at serving. So know now that you can and will likely change, and that's actually okay, completely okay. So let's start with the first tip. Don't let not having a niche paralyze you or put you into a niche analysis paralysis. As you start practicing or seeing clients as a coach, you will very naturally begin to just niche down, or better yet, you'll find exactly who and also what you're speaking about, since you will learn and talk their, meeting your ideal client's, language. I also have to say that you may end up pivoting into an area of expertise that you were not even aware of initially when you opened your practice. I do feel that we are all called to work with certain people, just like you're called to be a healthcare provider, a coach, or someone that just helps people because it's just your journey. And working with certain people is also part of your journey. So you may even advertise or your message is targeted to one particular audience, but you seem to get another kind that you didn't even mean to get, but you actually liked working with, and you're actually able to serve them even more. There's something about this energetics of who gravitates to us or you simply because of who you are. So I definitely feel that certain people will gravitate to me just because of who I am and the energetics of who I am. Or so that's kind of how it worked out for me. When I first started, I thought that I really wanted to work with couples and relationships. I spent a lot of time creating a message around relationships and couples, but it ended up getting a lot of women actually that were unhappy in their relationships, even though I really wanted to help people stay in relationships, which was pretty contradicting with who I was trying to target. A good chunk of the women that I was actually getting were mostly upset in their relationships because they left their career or sacrificed their businesses for their partner. I found myself then helping these women to get back into their business and also find themselves again because they became lost in their relationships. I then changed my niche to helping people with feeling stuck and procrastinating, and started getting a lot of entrepreneurs, not just women, and business owners who were stuck in their business or not launching and realized I loved helping them in their business to transition, leave, or simply get unstuck and passionately driven with their purpose, which was more aligned with who they are. So creating a career that was aligned. And then that leads me here today. Now that I have worked with startups, entrepreneurs in various stages, I absolutely love working with other healthcare providers and coaches, or really people that have already found their purpose, but stuck to launch. So for me, it wasn't really a clear path, but it did lead me to working with who and within what with those that I really enjoy and love. Now, one thing you do not want to do when you're looking for your ideal client is copying off of someone else's ideal client or message because it is working for them. Who you are meant to work with is unique for your specific skills and experience. So who works well for someone else may not work well with you. So now let's get into this exercise for choosing the ideal client or the who and what you are targeting as a multi-passionate person. Now, first question, for who or what problem are you good at solving? And there may be a couple things that are at the forefront. So what I'd like you to do is be sure to write them down. I'm gonna have it right here on my screen as I look over at it, because what you're gonna get is a list of different who or what. So for example, I have new moms, losing weight as the what, health and mood as the what problem. I have relationships as the problem. And after you've created this list, the next question I want you to ask is, what is the stage or event of that particular problem? Because we can have one problem, but there are various stages of that problem, isn't there? So for example, in our first example, we have new moms for postpartum care. Is it immediately after birth? Is it new moms going back to work? Is it new moms that are breastfeeding? So there's a lot of various pain points and problems. What I like to call this is the stage or event of this problem. So you're gonna list 3 stages or events of this particular who or what. So for losing weight, it can be at what stage? Losing weight after a baby or birth, or maybe it's losing weight to get into a wedding dress or getting married, or is it because you were just diagnosed with diabetes and you're losing weight because of that fear that we have of our health, longevity of life. And health and mood can be subcategorized and divided in many ways. So new moms, hypothyroidism, cancer survivors, the list can go on. And I think that's also what's debilitating for people. And you can subcategorize these into further problems. But I would say if you're just starting out, start with a not too narrow niche, but not too broad niche. And if you want help with that, you can also put in the comments below about that. Moving on to our last example, we have relationships, which is divided into 3 pain points, 3 problems during a certain stage or event of that problem, which is dating boundaries. That's in the very beginning of a relationship. That is the stage or the event. We also have divorce or breakup, that is at the end stage of the relationship. So there are various stages and events that you can help someone. Is it with maybe teen kids? Because the relationship that you have with your teens can be challenging. So think about the pain point, but also identify the stage and event of that. Now, this is the easy part because you have possibly a lot of various interests. That's why you're multi-passionate. And if you're new in the health coaching space, you may not know exactly which one is best for you because you have yet to serve them. So the second question is even more important. Are you able to serve? Being able to serve someone is one of the most important things in choosing your niche or choosing your who or choosing your what, because the results are what's going to sell your services and your program. And your who or what is going to very likely be you just 2 or 5 years ago. Something that you were struggling with. This is your unique pitch and what makes you different. Now, this part is so important because it's vital for you to have or feel confident, to gain confidence within your messaging and your offerings. And if you don't feel confident that you can serve someone within a particular who or what, then people will sense your hesitation. And confidence is the biggest barrier to launching. And if you don't feel confident about that particular who or what, then just skip and move on to the next one. Again, know that this is not a permanent who or what. This is not a permanent niche. And honestly, you don't necessarily even need a niche if you are able to jump right in and just see people. That alone will help give you some clarity in who or how you can serve people the most. Now let's go back to this list where we have our various who or whats that we are currently looking at, where we already identified the various stages or events that these all occur within that we're looking to niche down or work within. And once you have this laid out, you're going to want to do the second most important part, which is identify if you're able to serve or not able to serve within this area. And as you can see on the left side of your screen, you have these various questions or basically statements which would represent your level of confidence within this area. Ideally, we want to stay in the top 2, where you're closest to the ability to serve at the top of the left graph, as opposed to at the bottom where it says that you're not sure or I don't know, which is your answer, which signifies that you have really low confidence within this area. And either one, if all of your options land in this area, then you will need to do something in order to boost your confidence or feel a sense of ability to help and serve in this area, or at least test and demonstrate by working with friends, family, or free for others within that area of who or what. So if you're in the top, you're saying, yes, been there, done that. And that means that you have a great sense of confidence because you've actually experienced it yourself. There's nothing more than feeling that confidence of you getting over something and knowing how to personally deal with it. So you can even sit in the seat with your clientele or the person that you're working with. And really, this is a phenomenal, unique aspect of what makes you, why people would want to come to you. And the second part just below that, which is the likely able to help friends or family, you've shown evidence of helping those around you and people gravitate to you for this particular problem, stage, or event. So now that we have this list played out, we're going to take each one and really put it in the scale of where you land in your ability to serve. So for example, if you're looking at new moms in the postpartum care, looking at this whole list and saying, okay, well, I land here because I had a child and I struggled with postpartum management or care with my child and dealing with my own emotions after becoming a new mom. So you would land right here in this ability to serve. However, if you maybe haven't done it yourself or gone through that, but you've been there with your sister, your siblings, or friends or family or whomever, and you really feel a sense of confidence because you've been able to help others, then you would land here. And then that would be a pretty good niche to step into if your ability to serve could be increased. And then, but if you land here because, you really like the idea of helping people lose weight that have just been diagnosed with diabetes, but you haven't really worked with anybody, nor have you ever experienced this, you're going to be somewhat or maybe right here, which will indicate that you really don't have much confidence within this area, even though it is an interest for you. You will need to gain some more understanding of how to help and serve in this particular area.
And of course, if you land here where you really are not sure, I don't know, it's just an idea, it's not a strong niche or area for you to serve in, because you're really going to struggle with some of those barriers on feeling confident and creating a message where you understand how those people feel within this area or this niche of who or what you're serving within.
Let me know in the comments if you did this exercise, or if you've been working on it, or if you have any other questions or ideas on how you have found your niche. And if you want to check out what YouTube suggests for you to watch from my channel, feel free to check out this screen coming up right now.